Okay, we are recording. Also, please note some portions today will be live, or quite a lot of it actually. So please bear with us if there might be any technical glitches, because sometimes there could be connectivity issues. But we wanted to make sure to connect live with you as much as possible. So welcome again, and thank you for joining us on trip number 4 today. And I'll hold on 1 more minute and then we can get started. Checking on my co-host, Carla, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. Hi from Montecchio. Welcome everyone.
So let's give it one more minute, Carla, and then we get started, okay?
All right, that's good.
Okay. Okay, Carla, 5 minutes past, so let's get going. So Carla and myself, we're both working in Montecchio. We're very happy to host this for you today. So Carla is in Montecchio and I'm in Luxembourg. So welcome to this trip number 4. It's me again. You've seen me before, right? If you've joined most of these sessions. And enjoy today's trip with us. I am very happy again, as on the other sessions, to introduce you to some of our senior leaders today. And as you know, because of the pandemic, some will join from home, some are in our offices with the necessary precautions. Next slide, please, Carla. So for later on at the end, as we had in the older sessions, we'll have a Q&A, so please use the Q&A box to enter your questions throughout the call, and then use the chat also to engage with each other. Next slide. So let me give you a few more details about our journey. In the last few weeks, you were able to visit our headquarters in Rybrook, New York. Then we traveled to India to see our tech center. We took a detour to China last Tuesday, and now today we will be able to assist in visits to one of our manufacturing plants in Italy. Are you feeling the jet lag yet? Poof, I'm so tired. If you've all joined, you must feel it as well. As I mentioned before, in total we have 400 locations in more than 50 countries. Next slide, please. So today we are in Italy with my friend here, Carla. We both work in marketing and have had several projects like this before, right, Carla? So happy to have another project with Carla together. And so Carla is based in our factory where we have our Loara products. It was founded in 1986. There are over 580 employees there. And also in this location, we are manufacturing our clean water product solutions aimed at residential and commercial building services. Next slide, please. So as already mentioned last week, we are very proud to support this program. And we support this program throughout the globe. As you've seen, there's a lot of colleagues who joined us and have worked with finalists like yourself throughout that we've been supporting this program. I know Carla and also Elisabetta, who we'll be talking to a little bit later, has invited some of the finalists to some of our Xylem events. So maybe one of you will have the chance to do so soon as well. So we have been the founding global sponsor of the Stockholm Junior Water Prize for more than 20 years. And we're also instrumental in helping the Stockholm International Water Institute to develop the water tank, the digital platform that you all have access to. We support the Stockholm Junior Water Prize as part of Xylem's commitment to promote innovation in the water sector and also to promote the next generation of innovators, talented minds like you all on the phone today. Thank you all for joining. And again, congratulations to this year's winner. Let me now hand over to Carla. She is based in Montecchio. Carla, how long have you been based there actually?
So I've been in Xylem since 9 years now, so pretty long time. Yeah, spent a lot of nice experiences for Xylem so far. So yeah, great. Thank you, Ellen.
Great. So over to you, Carla.
Super. Thank you. So yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So thank you very much for continuing your journey together with us today in Italy. So really, before we start, I wanted to congratulate with each and every one of you for your inspiring talent and passion, and for your great ideas that I'm really sure your ideas and fantastic talent are going to make our planet a better place to live in the future. Also, I wanted to congratulate the prize winners from Japan. So my name, as Ellen was saying, is Carla. I've been working for Zalam since a few years now, and I'm within marketing communications. It's been great spending time on projects with Ellen so far. I'm also a watermark ambassador for the European commercial team, which means I volunteer within our corporate social responsibility program, which is really making amazing social impact in leveraging sustainable solutions in all the communities around the world in which we operate. And our corporate social responsibility program is live since 12 years now. So I've seen it growing up and extending the impact, the social impact, and sharing sustainable solutions in the years. So my task today is really guiding you through our virtual visit in our site. I'm going really to engage you on 3 interactive sessions that are going to take place via Zoom as polls. So really watch out and be careful, because we're going to provide you with hints in order to be able to respond to our coming polls. So, I'm going to use the Zoom polling. So it's going to be an option you will see coming up on the screen. And I'm going to pose 3 questions after the 3 areas that we are going to visit. So you will need to answer within 60 seconds. So not much time, but really enough time to let you make a very quick estimation or to respond according to the input that you will receive during this journey today. So really welcome to our Xylem Lovara factory today in Montecchio. We are in the northern part of Italy. In approximately, we are 1 hour far from the wonderful city of Venice, that in these days is hosting a lot of celebrities with the cinema festival, as you may know. And in this site, actually, I wanted to provide you some little background. We are really focused on producing highly efficient water technologies. We have a strong commitment to research and development, and we're always keeping an eye to designing sustainable solutions, investigating over many years in cutting-edge technologies and solutions within our machinery and solutions within the factory. So pumps that leave our factory in Montecchio reach a global geography in building and industrial applications mainly. So as you saw from data that Ellen introduced to you before, The site is large, and it hosts functions that include marketing, product management, research and development, engineering, technical customer service. So pretty much a large variety of experts sit here. I'm talking to you from, this is our Xylem Learning Center, in which under non-COVID times, of course, we host many customers throughout the year, and really visits from all over the world. Customers coming over to the Xylem Learning Center in Montecchio are interested in taking one of the largest series of training classes that we offer here, together with really visits within the area. And yeah, of course, normally we do this live in person, so in-person training, but now we do virtual training like we do today together with you. So I'm sorry if I talk too much, but I really wanted to provide you a quick introduction. You have 20 minutes time at the end in order to ask your questions. And let's now dive in really and see what today holds for you. So the agenda today is including a focus to 3 main areas that we selected for you. Your guide, so the person guiding you is going to be Alessandro. Alessandro is our technical training manager. And yeah, it's time I pause here and hand over to Alessandro. So enjoy the visit and speak later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Carla. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Xylem Montecchio facility. My name is Alessandro Sanna. I am the Technical Training Manager following European, Middle East, and African region. First of all, let me congratulate with the Japanese team, the winner of the Stockholm Junior Water Prize, but also with the US team for the Diploma of Excellence and the Bangladesh team for the People Choice Award. As Carla said, I am part of the team that is following and covering the training for Xylem and our distributors. Here in the facility, we are hosting more than 1,000 of people visiting us to get training, and also you will have the chance to see one of the most important parts that we are showing to them, and so a brief part of the manufacturing facility. But first of all, since we are in the factory, let me start with a brief safety tip. In Montecchio and also Xylem, one of the main commitments is related to the safety. Safety in the factory, safety in the office. And this is also in Montecchio where we are launching campaign. And now, starting from the summertime, one campaign for the safety of the end has been launched across the offices and the manufacturing facility here in Italy. This specific campaign asks to provide suggestions and comments by the people really working in the environment of the facility in order to promote and leverage and increase the safety in our manufacturing facility. So another safety tip for us that we are guiding you into the factory. As you see, we are always wearing gloves, visibility jacket. In this case, it's just a shield, and also the safety shoes to guide you inside the factory. Just a couple of information also on the Montecchio facility. Montecchio today is able to produce up to 2,600 pumps related to the clean water manufacturing. Montecchio across Xylem is also well known as one of the center of excellence for the fabricated stainless steel. Consider that the company has been opened in the 1968, and starting from the late 70s, we started this type of manufacturing and increasing our knowledge and our competence on this specific product. The factory is composed by different buildings. Where we are today is called the live testing room. Then we have the main building, the MN1, and then other 2 buildings where we have the warehouse of the purchasing material, and where our colleague Carla is located, the Xylem Learning Center. Where we are now is where we are testing our pumps that we're going to produce directly in our manufacturing plant. What you can see behind my shoulder are part of the R&D lab that has been realized realizing July 2017. And here, all our colleagues are making tests, live tests, stress tests on the pumps we produce, and also pumps we are producing specifically for our customers. Where you see our colleague on the first floor, we have a specific well to test submersible pump up to 7 meters in order to test all size of pumps. And one of the tests we're making here, even to test the component, are, for example, stress tests for the temperature. In the first pump you can see downstairs here, we are changing the temperature from 20 to 90 degrees in order to understand how is the behavior of the pump while we have this huge difference of temperature flowing into them. So now I want to show you even something different and going to the second floor of our manufacturing and live test facility. So let me guide you upstairs. Here we have the control room where all the people can control in safety way what is happening downstairs. So on the second floor, we have a dedicated testing room specifically to the HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning products. What is happening here is a live test. Those products are running since a year in order to check behavior, problem, or any type of issue that we may have on the product before the official launch to the customer. And you see here the full rack of our live testing room. Another type of test we are able to do in this factory or in this live testing room is related to the condensation environment or to the temperature of the product while it's working into a specific environment. Here, for example, we're making a test at 30 degrees, but sometimes happens to find products at 80 degrees with 70% of humidity, and our scope is to see if the pump is working properly or not. We also have the possibility then to test and simulate how our pump are working in a specific system. For example, your heating system in the house. So we have here a simulator of your house heating system. We have the possibility to simulate an air conditioning system. And also we are making specific stress tests, for example, with the water, water with sand, water with chlorine, water with any type of solid in it. Downstairs, there is also a specific room where we are able to make any type of dangerous test, like pressure test with chemicals or with high temperature solutions, in order to keep everything safe inside the room and leaving our colleague testing and checking all the parameters from outside in complete safety. So this is what is our LTR, part of the R&D. And now let me hand over to Carla in order to start with the first pool dedicated to you.
Okay, thank you, Alessandro. So here I'm back again. I'm gonna really launch a polling. It's gonna take like 60 seconds to respond. And when I close the poll, we'll be able to see how many of you answered by estimating the correct number of pumps we produce in Montecchio every year. So I'm gonna launch the polling. And also, yeah. Let me take the time here. So there's not going to be any winner, let's say, unfortunately, in this opportunity, but this is helpful to really let us understand the capacity of this site as a manufacturing facility. So I see people are answering. We have 33% let's see if somebody else is going to provide their answer on which, on how many pumps do we produce every year in Montecchio. So I said we're a large site here, and pumps land in each and every country in the world. So we're closing right now. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna tell you what the right question, the answer is more than 500,000 pieces per year. So this is the correct answer to this question. I'm ending the polling right now, and I'm of course handing over to Alessandro again. Is reaching the next manufacturing area within the site right now. So I'll stop my video and then over to Alessandro. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again, Carla. Now I move inside the factory, and here I am in one of the newest work centers in the factory. This is where we are manufacturing our Scuba pump. Scuba is a borehole pump for the residential application. And why we are here? Here, this part of the factory is really interesting because being one of the last made in the factory, we pay a lot of attention on some new improvements from the old line. For example, what we did, first of all, is to increase the brightness across the line, change the color of the floor to get a higher visibility inside here. Then we made also some specific modification to the manufacturing in order to provide help and support to our operators. For example, here, when the operator is screening directly the barcode on the pump, the intelligent system is helping us and providing them directly the electrical connection in order to be sure to connect the pump properly. Then here we decide then to pay attention on the ergonomics, but also on the weight lifting. All the people here are not lifting any type of weight because all the machines are done in order to reduce the stress on the shoulder and on the knees. Regarding the safety, even in the factory, and this line has been improved with some new tools. For example, in the final assembling, we decide to remove the plastic barrier from the press, and we use a sort of laser screen in order to stop the machine if the operator is too close to the line. Of course, the safety has been also impacted by the COVID-19, and also the factory needs to be improved in this way. For example, here where we were not able to guarantee the safety distance, a transparent divider has been put between the operators in order to keep them safe and respecting the social distancing that now the new situation is guiding us to. Another big improvement has been done also on the external part. This will be the first pump with the laser tag plate directly on the external sleeve in order to reduce the scratch, reduce the component, and be more reliable once the pump is installed. Montecchio is not only about safety, but in Montecchio there is also a lot of attention on the sustainability. This year has been launched and is running up a specific project dedicated to the plastic-free project. Now and during this year, the scope is to eliminate, to cancel all the plastic, starting from the plastic bottle in the company. And Xylem provide to every single employee a water bottle in order to don't use the plastic one. For the sustainability related to the factory, this year has also been open our closed water loop system in order to save water. Consider that every year we will be able to save up to 20,000 cubic meters for our manufacturing facility. So as we said, Scuba is one of our center of excellence for the manufacturing, and here you can see the end part of the line and all the operators working here. So again, let me hand over again to Carla for the second pool, and let's meet up to the final station in this factory tour.
Okay, thank you, Alessandro. So I'm going to launch the second poll. As said, we had some hints, so thank you so much for providing hints. Let me share my screen again. Sorry. All right. So I'm launching 60 seconds time to respond. The question is really how many cubic meter of water do we save every year thanks to our closed water loop system. As you know, this is a quick opportunity to test your ability to estimate how many cubic meters of water do we save every year. As you know, we really focus on water. This is a natural resource we concentrate so much on in order to return it to the environment purer than it was previously. So, and as you know, we focus so much on sustainability and environmental impact. So I see the right answer is there. I'll end the polling in a second, but the correct answer is 20,000 cubic meter is the right one. So thank you so much for engaging. I'll be back, of course, for the third and last poll in a few minutes. So I'll hand over to Alessandro, who is in the booster assembly area. Thank you, Alessandro. And over to you.
Thank you again, Carla. As we said, this is the last stop inside the factory. I am now in the booster assembling area. For all the people connecting, what is a booster? A booster is, frankly speaking, a group of pumps that is helping us to provide the right amount of water, the right pressure in our tap. Usually, they are using the highest building. For example, even for the guys connected, we have 15 of these products in the highest building of the world, so the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Also here, we have the entire assembling and manufacturing of this set, where we are assembling with the pump coming from the Montecchio factory, but also with the one coming from the other plants. And here, all our technicians are building up the products. The product can be customized. You can see here all different products, something just with the pumps, some others with drive to save water and to improve how the entire booster set is working. Because our commitment as a global company for the water technology is to save water and improve the energy usage in our product. And here I want also to show you something that is a little bit different from the booster system, and this is a specific system dedicated to the firefighting. I want to show you that because it's really huge. If you see here, our colleagues working directly on the pump and the motor, and Montecchio has the entire manufacturing, not just for the clean water booster, but also for the firefighting system to keep our building safe according to the regulation we are following in. So I hope that those three main stations really enjoy, and it was really part of the interest of your career and your personal path. Thank you again for joining. Thank you again, and let me congratulate at the end with the winner of the Stockholm Junior Water Prize. I know that now we will have the site leader responding to your question. Thank you again, and let me hand over to Carla for the final part. Thank you again.
Super. Thank you, Alessandro, and thanks to our colleagues in the shop floor for allowing us to visit them. I'm launching the third polling question in order to really know what your preferred area has been. So really, we are keen on knowing what you preferred and what the favorite area was. So I really hope you engaged and enjoyed the visit, and especially liked the booster set assembly area. You know, Xylem technology solutions, and as Alessandro mentioned, can be found in thousands of innovative installations, really globally. So as the Burj Khalifa skyscraper, which is like over 800 meters high, so definitely a challenging application. So I see that the booster set working center was the preferred one. So I'm gonna close the polling in a second. So thank you so much for responding, and thanks for visiting Montecchio. All right, so hand over to Ellen. Thank you, Ellen, and goodbye from the Xylem Learning Center.
Thank you so much, Carla, and thank you, Alessandro, for putting together this really amazing visit. As you know, we've done a few of them. It's actually really interesting to see live how a factory like that is working. So thank you, both of you, for pulling this together. And I just wanted to bring in a comment. So for those of you who don't know, so we are also streaming this this Zoom live for our employees. So our employees can have a look as well. And there was actually a comment from Joe Veazey, our CMO, which I just wanted to highlight to you. Love the tour of Montecchio. Awesome example of what's possible with this technology. Fantastic job. And then he also commented on when you were talking about sustainability and the saving of 20,000 cubic meters of water. So here is that sustainability is a closed water loop system, saves 20,000 cubic meters of water per year. He's mentioning the leadership in Montecchio that's almost 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So just some comments here as well, and he's saying thank you to you, Alessandro and Carla, for this interesting visit. So I just thought it was interesting to bring this up. So we promised enough time for Q&A, and we really wanted to make sure. So Carla has invited to join us with us today the leadership in the Montecchio side. So you see the images here on screen, but they're going to come live with us in a moment as well. So we have Elisabetta Anastrelli. She's Director of Marketing Operations for Europe. Then we have Raquel Battistella. She's the Director of HR for Europe. We have Marco Ferretti, who joined us as well, the Director for Operations, and Amadeo Valente, the Director of Innovation and Technology. Carla, you could stop sharing, then we'll put them. So all of you, if you want to see all panelists next to each other, on the top you can click on gallery view instead of speaker view. Then you can see all of us. So just want to really say thank you again for all of you for joining us here today. For everyone who has additional questions, as you know, you can bring them up in the Q&A box by clicking on at the bottom of your controls. But let me start here with a question for Raquel. So how does Xylem approach the talent recruitment and youth integration in the company? Maybe that's something interesting for the students to know. Raquel, you're on mute.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hi, Raquel. Raquel, you're on mute again.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Raquel.
Okay. I'm really glad to be with you today. Thank you for joining. Yeah, about the talent recruitment, Helen, what Xylem, as you know, has a strong recruitment process with a dedicated team called TACOE, Talent Acquisition Center of Excellence. So usually we have 3 steps of interviews with the manager of different levels in the organizations. And about integration, we have a number of focus programs in place that specifically identify top talent that is early in career. And these programs include the Xylem Internship program and also the operations and engineering rotational programs. But to achieve the integration, usually the youth new hires have also a welcome lead who follow them during the onboarding period, because it's really important that this person becomes an immediate connection for any question or introduction or the needs that the new hire can have. And in addition, also, we have an emerging leaders group on Xylem now, and in a number of our local offices, of course, which is a great, honestly speaking, is a great way for our early career colleagues to connect with each other and build their professional capabilities and knowledge also. And we also offer a number of development programs, interesting development programs, such as Strategy Leadership Development Program and Innovation Technology Development Program that also, I think, can help integrate early career colleagues with other colleagues while they are learning and developing in the same time.
Great. Thank you, Raquel. Just a clarification, maybe for people that don't work for Xylem, they don't know what Xylem Now is. So that's our internal Facebook, right? I think we can call it like that.
Yeah.
So that's what Raquel was mentioning as well. Great.
Correct. It's an internal Facebook with many professional groups.
Excellent. Maybe another question for you as well, Raquel, as I'm talking to you right now. In these more difficult times, right, can you give us some examples on how Xylem supports new hires that need to learn how to work in a current unprecedented COVID-19 time?
Yeah. The support that Xylem gives to the new hires is really important, but I think that it's especially in this moment is really something that can help new hires, because as you know, due to the COVID situation, most of us are working from home. So what we have done are many things, as for example, we have a global training center of excellence that has worked around the clock to develop many new online trainings. So the initial onboarding now is supported also by these specific trainings. In addition, we have the virtual tour of the facility if the person works in a plant. We have online meeting with the managers of the main areas to allow to know Xylem, the organization, and the processes, of course, and also the main stakeholders. And what I think that is really important is also the welcome lead, as I told before, as mentioned, who, especially in this situation, I think it's essential to introduce the person to the Xylem culture. And as HR, we are encouraging our managers to connect more frequently with new hires and conduct regular check-ins with them. And also, of course, there is a shared website platform. There is a Xylem Now, as I told, that can help to understand better the processes, the organizations, and let me say, the Xylem world.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you to you, Helen.
Let's maybe move to Elisabetta. Elisabetta, in marketing, how does Xylem support, I mean, not just in marketing, right, but in Xylem in general, how does Xylem support diversity and inclusion and hashtag women empowerment as a trending topic or trending hashtag on social media?
Thank you, Ellen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
very good. First of all, thank you for the opportunity, and nice to meet you all virtually. I'm always enchanted to see the factory that we have here in Montecchio. It's I'm always amazed and surprised to see every day a new improvement. So thank you, Carla and Alessandro, for taking us there. Back to your question, Ellen. So. Perhaps the value of social media marketing resides with one's ability to actually foster and engage a community of people. And indeed, it is that engagement that is at the core of our social media strategy. When it comes to diversity and inclusion and empowerment of women, we do have a strong focus around these two principles. And the reason is that we strongly believe that actually they drive innovation, disruption, and at the end, growth. If I can think of a most recent example on how we actually featured diversity and inclusion, that can go to the initiative called 1 Minute in Water. It's a very recent initiative that brings together a very diverse audience, from experienced leaders down to young, inspiring voices. We all joined forces to really share thoughts and aspirations on how to bring forward the conversation of water together. When it comes to women's empowerment, altogether, Zalam has a strong focus from a gender standpoint, to really eliminate any disparity, both in terms of salary as well as in terms of coverage of position. What is it that we do, and how do we translate this into the social? Well, Rachele mentioned before, internally we have this workplace powered by Facebook. It's an internal community, it's an internal social media platform where we actually engage and we encourage women to be on the front line, sharing thoughts, ideas, better processes on how to have fun and enjoy our work at Xylem, as well as improving and serving our customers better. Externally, I would say that I've noticed in the most recent months and years, I would say, we have embarked into a much bolder step that started with women in the first place, and we take more we are more on the front line. We take key visuals, women in industry, in the external world, in the social. We are more empowered to be up there in the front line, sharing thoughts in the wider audience. If I can think of an example of how we empower women, before the COVID season, we had this good habit of creating an event within an event, within a trade show, within an event that we would do for customers. And that event would be very much focused around women's forum and around panelist discussion, where we could actually share thoughts and challenges that women might have within our industry. So by bringing awareness, we bring empowerment, basically, and that is what this is really what we have been doing so far. Our idea and our aim is to really move those panelist discussion into a virtual mode and create that event within the event, for the future. So this is what we do.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I know we've had several conversations about this topic, right? You're really a great champion when it comes to diversity and inclusion within Xylem. Maybe another question also, again, around COVID-19 or related to COVID-19. So as a consequence of COVID-19, How is Xylem transforming marketing operations to respond to the growing digitalization? And you talked a little bit about it, right? And I think Raquel also talked a little bit about it, how the digital becomes more important. But some specific examples around marketing operations on this?
Alan, the first thought that I have in my mind when you ask this question is that we all became, in the space of 1 month, webinar experts and remote interaction experts. We actually shared our houses, our living rooms, our kitchens, and we became very much, experts in creating the most comfortable and interactive rooms for sharing and continue the conversation around water by the creation of these specific webinars, just to really continue the conversation, continue the understanding of the marketplace, as well as the offering of our solution with our customers. That is definitely one example. The other thing I can think of is, because of COVID, we have actually been I would say obliged to accelerate what we had in plan when it comes to marketing automation. And so, our focus today sits very much in, for instance, making sure that our web content delivers a great experience to our customers, to the influencers, but also to all these young talents that are listening to us today. And I would really welcome you to go and visit our website and give us feedback, because this is really important for us. We can improve on the back of your thoughts, your ideas. So please visit our website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is Xylem.com, right?
Xylem.com.
So thank you. Thank you, Elisabetta. And I think, another example of how we responded with growing digitalization is this webinar as well, right? We wanted to make sure we continue this conversation with the Stockholm Junior Water Prize finalists. And, we had to rethink, and as you said, very fast. And so we are happy to host these sessions here. So
thank you, Ellen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elisabetta. Amadeo, how does Xylem manage the design of new products that respect the environment in a sustainable way?
Oh, thank you for the question. Great question. And I think that it would require quite a bit of time to be properly answered, but I try to be synthetic in what I'm saying. At Xylem, we have a product development process well established that is called Xylem Product Development, and that guides all our activities around the development of the products. Within it, in addition to the prescription related to what we want to obtain out of the development in order to satisfy our customer needs and requirements, there are also deliverables that need to be elaborated and that are related to environmental and sustainability aspect of the product and the processes. So the matter is well established and is part of our product development. Basically, while designing the products, we are focused to make sure first that they are requiring the less energy possible, and that they also have the less environmental impact along the manufacturing process. As an example, we select those components that generate the lowest environmental impact to be produced and that are the easiest to be disposed at the end of their life. We select the vendors not purely on the buying price concept, but also making sure they produce the closest to our plant in order to reduce and minimize the pollution due to the transportation. Okay, we know that if goods come from far, we have transportation is really concurrent to the pollution of the environment quite a lot. We also adopt manufacturing processes that are efficient and possibly free from emission to the atmosphere. We all know that the electrical motors are one of the product categories that are consuming the most energy of the total world energy utilization. And for this reason, we always try to design products that have the highest efficiency possible to minimize these energy consumptions. And not only in the process of manufacturing it, but along their full working life. Overall, the process is guiding us to control the impact of every and each manufacturing and the design choice through the entire life of the products, and the life cycle assessment process that we utilize are helping us in defining these requirements and minimize them. But all of this is not only because of the process. I mean, I think that we as employees and managers of the company strongly believe that it is our responsibility and the company responsibility to design and produce devices that are sustainable and respectful of the environment. Can we say that we are perfect in doing that? No, we are by far, very far from there. We have a lot of, to do more, but I feel good in saying that we are walking down the right path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this is something in our DNA as well, right? Always trying for continuous improvement as well, right? So thank you for that answer, Amedeo.
Absolutely.
There's a question
thank you.
There's a question that came in from the field. I'm curious, we have the Stockholm Junior Water Prize winners and other guests on from all over the world. And Montecchio sends product to almost all parts of the world. Are there countries or cities that are really pushing the limits to solve water from your perspective? Who in the world is really pushing Montecchio to produce more and more better and better water technologies? Really interesting question. I don't know, Amedeo or Marco, is that maybe something you would like to respond to? Amedeo, I think you were fine. Okay, Marco, go ahead.
Thank you first of all for being here, for letting me be part of this crew today. Well, I think all the world is pushing us to develop more efficient products, saving water, and generally speaking, polluting less the world. So it's not just about water consumption, but it is even about energy that our products are wasting or using for pumping water. So it's really a global requirement coming from across all the world. Of course, there is a higher attention from the western part of the world, but I can tell you that just because I spent the last 4 years in the Middle East is really on top of this, just because, of course, water for them is a real issue, of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I don't know if Amedeo wants to add something, but I think it's really a global requirement, reducing water consumption and, generally speaking, energy consumption in pumping water.
Yeah, and yes, thank you, Marco. And I think that regulations, especially in Europe, that is driving this, but the US, and then I expect that also the Asia will follow that. New regulations are really imposing efficiency limits that are really pushing us to redesign all our products to get much more out of that. So this is a real world trend, fortunately, and competition is following that, but we are, I think, trying to do even more than that.
Great, thank you. Maybe one other question for Marco. So what type of investment does Xylem do to reduce water consumption in the manufacturing facility of Montecchio Maggiore?
Well, you already heard about what we are doing, what we have been able to achieve during this year, but I would say that here in Italy, everything started many years ago. I think we are among the very first companies here in Italy, at least, that we have designed and produce our roofs in a way that we are able to collect rainwater since many years. So, and speaking about what we just achieved this year, you heard about this big saving of 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools that we can save of water year over year. We are speaking of a 50% reduction in our water consumption. We are using water mainly for our manufacturing process, of course, because we have a big presses machine here that needs to be cooled down, and of course, normally, you know, most of this water is getting contaminated during this process, and then is just deployed as dirty water. Now we have set up this closed loop depurator, and so bringing back to the process the same water that we already use. And we are already working and actually fine-tuning the second step of the same closed loop project. And altogether, this, speaking about money, is an investment of about $600,000 dollars. But we are not stopping to this, because we are already working on the technical specification for introducing a total new technology for washing our parts. You know, it's part of the manufacturing process, cleaning the parts we are producing by oil or any other contaminant. And so far we are using traditional washing machine, so water plus chemical. And now next year we are switching to a vacuum cleaning technology. And this will allow us to save another couple of swimming pool per year, so by investing another $350,000. So this is a big, you can say, commitment by the organization, right, for water reduction.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Marco. And at the beginning, I think the first session, we talked a little bit about sustainability and all of our sustainability goals. And Donna Laviolette talked to us about that in the first session. And I think this is another example that fits right into that. So thank you for that. I have a really great question here that just came in as well from the field. Maybe one for you, Elisabetta. But anyone feel free also to chime in on the question. If anyone on this panel could go back now to their younger self, so maybe let's start with Elisabetta. When you were in high school or university, what piece of advice would you give your younger self?
What an interesting question. But that deserves a lot of, that I would say that deserves a lot of introspective, time. What piece of advice would I give to my younger self? To be bolder, to be really, to embrace the purpose at the early stage, really. And I think having a purpose is what drives all young generation. And as a matter of fact, I am very much astonished and complimentary to see how these young generations are actually pushing us to make a better world. They have a much deeper maturity when it comes to sustainability issues than what we had ourselves. My piece of advice would be bolder and find your purpose at an early stage, because that is the trick that inspires everything.
Great. Raquel, what kind of advice would you give yourself, to your younger self? You're on mute, Raquel. Raquel, there's an issue with your sound. We don't hear you. We see you on mute, but we do not hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. So what I think it's really important is, as Elisabetta said, I really agree with her, to have, yes, also a passion and to be really motivated to join and to have something to achieve in their life, because it's really, really important to put the energy and the commitment to achieve the goals that these young people can have. So, and I think it's really important also when they will join a company, because what we are looking when we make an interview is the motivation, the way to think outside of the box, and the determination that they have to achieve the goal and their resilience to do it. This is really important, in my opinion.
Thank you, Raquel. Marco, what advice would you give your younger self?
I even don't remember when I was young. I could say, apart the joke, well, I think that everybody of us, when we were young, had our own target purpose, but most of the time it is really an individual one. So we are very much concentrated on ourselves, and I think we should, my suggestion is that youngsters should even get involved in society activity, I mean social activity. So spending some of their time for the broader audience, not just for developing themselves. I think this is the suggestion I can feel to share.
Yeah, all really great ideas. Let's hear the same from you, Amedeo. As a closing question, what advice would you give your younger self?
I'm always questioning myself if I have the right to give advice to people, but I mean, I try to.
Sure.
I try to say that try to be in a business or in a environment that passionates you. I mean, that is really interesting for you, and that will bring a certain point to have the conviction, the idea that you have done the right things. And this come really close to something happened to me these days. In this vacation period, actually, I was on the mountains on the north of Italy walking with my wife around the lake. And at a certain point, there was a small stream of water, and there was a wooden statue representing a man coming out of the water. And there was a sign saying, okay, from Talete. The Talete was one of the seventh Greek sages, and they was saying everything starts from water. Every life starts from water. So really, I was thinking how fortunate I've been to be in a business that is taught to work with something that starts any type of life. So I wish all of you that at the end of your career you can feel the same I felt when you're at that. So choose something that you really make you passionate and possibly is having a, let me say, higher level of scope, let me say, and is useful for the entire community.
Great. Thank you so much. So, and I see that Carla and Alessandro are back on the video. So Alessandro made his whole tour through the factory to join Carla again. And maybe I can ask from the panelists and also from myself a big applause for Carla and Alessandro. Thank you for the visit and putting this together. So really, thank you all for joining, taking up the time to talk to us. So as you know, this was shared with employees through Xylem Now. The recordings will also again be shared with the students as well as the national organizers, because obviously it's always difficult to make sure you can reach with the right timing all the way to people in Australia as much as the ones from Chile. So there will be continued viewing of this streaming. Thank you all for joining us. And so for all the others, we will, or I at least, will see you again next week, Tuesday. You all already met Anna. She's very exciting and setting up everything in Limburg to host you there. There's a lot of live on that session as well. So thank you, everyone. And ciao, Italia.
Ciao, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.